Welcome back to Road to Fire. We're a family of three documenting our journey to fire, financial independence, retire early. Let's talk about our January 2021 portfolio update. Like always, I'll provide all our real numbers through the 22nd of the month and outline our investment strategy for the year, so please hang with me. So in 2021, we plan to invest $75,000 into the market on top of our HSA and 401k contributions. Our main focus is to get our taxable brokerage account to over $100,000 this year. It's a lofty goal, and we are tracking just a bit below that right now, but I'm not worried. We will essentially need to increase our income and find additional side hustles to help us close the gap this year. So how do we invest? We invest using the dollar cost averaging method, which is an investment strategy that aims to reduce the impact of volatility in the financial market by investing small sums and having them invested periodically versus all at once. Essentially, we don't time or put in large sums of money sporadically. We invest on a set schedule despite what is happening within the market. Because we are long-term investors, this really works for us. Last year on average, we invested about $5,000 a month, and this year we're hoping to increase that to about $6,200 to hit our long-term goal for 2021. We use Vanguard for 80% of our investments, and that platform works really well for us. It houses our IRAs, Roths, UTMA, and brokerage account. I've been with them since 2012, and I got my husband on board soon after. We do use other platforms, but Vanguard holds our key accounts for early retirement. So here is our 2021 order of investing. We always start out investing by matching out our company's match, as that is essentially free money. But this year we have pushed to max out both of our 401ks, which is something we have never done before. We then will be maxing out our HSA, and that was already set during our open enrollment last fall. I am happy to finally be able to do this in 2021. My company also provides a generous contribution as well, so we expect this account to be at almost $10,000 by the end of this year. Keep in mind that our HSA and our 401ks are all pre-tax dollars. So the $75,000 will be pushed across our IRAs and our brokerage accounts. Number 3 is our IRAs, and we always max that out, which is attainable for us. And the limit for this year is about $6,000. But number 4, investing in our brokerage account, is always the last account we fund, and that is the one we are pushing to grow this year. We hope to have quote-unquote extra money to fund this account. We do have a Roth, but based on our income, we will not be able to fund that in 2021. But you never know what plans will be like later on, so we're just going to watch it grow over time. We are always walking a tightrope between investing and savings, or a balancing act between the two. If you haven't seen our latest sinking funds video, I'll link that here. But as of right now, we're sitting on over $33,000 in cash, and we might be shifting that. Because on top of investing heavily this year, we are trying to save for 2 big expenses: a down payment on our second home and our expected tax bill in April. Our house down payment would need about $20,000, and that is a guesstimation. And our tax bill usually averages around $4,000 year over year, but I haven't gotten all my forms yet, so that's an estimation as well. Now, we are sitting on 6 months emergency fund that we might use for these expenses, but we really don't want to tap into these unless needed, despite us both being in stable jobs. But to be able to hit our 2021 goals this year, we'll need to do one key thing. We need to increase our income. I keep saying this, but it's 100% true. And this means creating new side hustles or other streams of income, which isn't easy. Right now, I've been flipping items from Goodwill and other secondhand stores, as well as selling items from around our house. So far, I made about $300 in the last 2 months. It's not a lot, but it is something. I use the OfferUp app and Facebook Marketplace, as it really works well in my area. I usually sell furniture items, but just recently started moving into apparel. I doubt this will move into a long-term strategy or side hustle, but it's working now to help offset some of our monthly expenses. My husband has been working on his dropshipping site, and I hope those begin to see some traction, but his biggest focus is getting a higher paid job, which will definitely put us in a better position. If not, he'll have to have a tough conversation with his manager about potentially getting a raise. We feel he is underpaid anyways, but fingers crossed that his job search ends soon. So let's dive into our current portfolio. Our numbers include all the assets we have across the 4 platforms we usually invest in: Vanguard, Health Equity, Robinhood, as well as Fidelity. Our numbers are through the 22nd of the month, but because we invest twice a month, it only shows our partial investments so far. And because the market is always fluctuating, these numbers are simply a snapshot in time. Okay, disclaimers are done here. So here's our current investment portfolio. I always break it out by what type of investment account we have. Keep in mind, these numbers account for both my husband and I's accounts. First is our IRA, which accounts for 60% of our money housed in Vanguard. The balance is just around $150,000, up from last month. Next is our company 401ks, which are held at Fidelity, and the balances are just around $10,000, which is a decline from last month, and I will explain in a second. We then have about $49,000 in our brokerage account, and this includes our custodial account for our son and our brokerage account in Robinhood and Vanguard. Then we have our Roth accounts, which has a balance of around $36,000 within Vanguard. We will no longer be contributing to these due to income increases in 2021, and yes, we can do a backdoor if desired. And the last account is our HSA, which still has less than 1% of our total portfolio right now, but has a balance just over $2,300. So our total portfolio amount in January to date is $249,389, which is a good start to the year. If you split this in half, that's about $125,000 per person, which is decent. Rule of thumb is to have at least 1 year's salary saved for retirement at 30 and twice that amount saved by 35. I'm 31 and my husband is 32, and you can see that we're a little bit behind on both metrics, so there's a bit of a catching up we have to do. But here are some of our recent buys. And yes, we do have VTSAX, which represents about 80% of our total portfolio, and those are in our IRAs. Overall, we are making ground, but I'm not content yet. So here's our investment portfolio from last month. You can see one key difference month over month. We shifted our old 401k from Fidelity into my IRA within Vanguard. In December, our 401k balance was about 17% of our portfolio, and now it is only 4%. And our IRA was 49%, and we have shifted that to about 60% now. Now, the process to shift your 401k into your IRA was a bit annoying for me. Here's the process I took. For Fidelity, you can't do it without a customer rep on the phone. So I had to wait about an hour to get someone on the phone, and I'm not for sure why, but I assumed a lot of people were working with Fidelity during this time. Then they mail you your investment balances via check, which was very nerve-wracking, but shout out to our postal workers who are always getting things done. You then have to submit your check to Vanguard, and they will deposit this into your, wait for it, money market account. If you do not check your account, your money could be sitting in a money market account versus an actual fund. After you get your money into a money market account, you then have to shift that money into your desired fund, and voila, you have the process. So the entire process took a few weeks, which means my money was not in the market for basically all of December week 3 to about January week 2. Be mindful of these steps when you change companies because it's easy just to leave your money where it is versus growing it exponentially collectively. So I did something different this year. We have always done the DCA method when investing, but I'm going to be 100% honest. I never set up our max investment number in our budget automatically. I always set up a safe number, maybe $100 or $200 less as our automatic investment while leaving a buffer in our budget. Then at the end of the month, I'll do a one-time investment transfer for anything left over in our budget. But this time I went in and I did an automatic setup with an aggressive automatic transfer. I will no longer be taking the safe route, but going harder in our strategy. So I set up 2 automatic transfers totaling $4,500 a month on the 15th and the 30th of each month. Will there be months that this may not work in our budget? Of course, potentially, but then I will adjust. But for now, we have set up this $4,500 a month to go directly to our taxable brokerage account, getting us very close to our annual goal. I'd read The Automatic Millionaire earlier this month and it inspired me. Now the book was alright overall, but the last few chapters got me making changes to our plan. I know we can make this work, but I'm using the taxes concept. For example, for income taxes, your money is automatically taken out of your check each month and you adjust your lifestyle and expenses around it. Why not do the same for investing? But we'll see how this works out for this year. So far, we've invested $3,850 into the market this month and have another $2,450 going in by the end of the month due to our new automatic investing strategy. Keep in mind, this number does not include our 401k, HSA, or employer contributions. I really want us to have easy to access money during an early retirement on top of us doing a Roth IRA conversion. Our strategy might change or adjust for tax implications, but this is the path right now. So here's our investment trends graph. I have the back half of last year in January to outline our progress so far. Overall, our investments have been moving in the right direction since the big drop back in February or March of last year. I started tracking our investments in July of last year and we had about $167,000 invested in the market then. We are getting closer to doubling that, and this will be the first full calendar year of tracking our investments, so I'm excited to see how we grow. I usually do an investment check in the 3rd week of the month. Last month, our investments were around $231,000, and this month we're just around $250,000, up 7.8%. If you look at the real numbers, we're up about $17,000, but obviously we did not put in $17,000 into the market. The market has been good to us so far, and we will continue to ride this wave. My personal target is to get to $300,000 by mid-year or mid-Q2, which I believe is 100% attainable. So I set up an investment tracker for our 2021 goal. I then broke this down into quarterly goals of about $18,750. This helps make things a little bit more tangible and less impossible or scary overall for me. So far this month, we've invested about 20.5% to our Q1 goal. And by the end of the month, we would have invested about $6,100, which is about $100 short from where we need to be on a monthly basis. But I'm happy with where we are so far. We both will be getting a bonus in the end of March, so I expect that income to help close the gap. We started the year on a solid note, but I know the latter months won't be easy. I am less concerned about our investment goals, but more so concerned about how we will continue to save and balance those planned large expenses later in the year. Luckily for us, we won't be able to buy a new house until November because of the 1 year stipulation on house hacks, so we still have time to sort things out. I hope by then we have created more consistent streams of income. Now, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. Until next time.